גלגלי הזמן מושכים, קירות גדולים עכשיו נופלים, מבט חטוף אומר הכל, לא נותן לזה לגדול. שערה גדולה בפנים, בלב סולם למלאכים, מי יורד ומי עולה, מתבייש ומתכסה, עוצם עיניים ומתוודה. התפילות שלי פשוטות, אין בי שום מילים יפות, הכוונות גם מחוסות, קבל אותן תמימות טובות, ואין בי שום מילים יפות, שמע קולי, קבל אותי, תוריד אליי את הכוחות, קרוב. שקט שם בין חדרי הלב, אור גדול שמחבר, מיתר קטן לנשמה, מחזיק אותי נותן תקווה. לא, אני לא רוצה להיות מספר, אני רוצה להיות בדיוק ישר. אין מנצחים אין מפסידים, שום דבר עוד לא נגמר. התפילות שלי זה מה שנשאר. התפילות שלי פשוטות, אין בי שום מילים יפות, הכוונות גם מחוסות, קבל אותן תמימות טובות, ואין בי שום מילים יפות, שום הכל בי, קבל אותי, תוריד אליי את הכוחות, קרוב. התפילות שלי פשוטות, אין בי שום מילים יפות, הכוונות גם מחוסות, קבל אותן תמימות טובות, אין בי שום מילים יפות, שום הקולי, קבל אותי, תוריד אליי את הכוחות, קרוב, קרוב. התפילות שלי פשוטות, ואין בי שום מילים יפות, הכוונות גם מחוסות, קבל אותן.
For Zion's sake, I will not keep silent, and for Jerusalem's sake, I will not hold my peace, until her righteousness shines out like the dawn, her salvation like a blazing torch. Oh
Shabbat Shalom, and welcome everybody to our service this afternoon. Yes, we would not today have any youth Hallel, but we have a very interesting topic. We will be dealing with the end time. End time prophecies, and right now, if you have been recently listening to the news, you have been listening to the news recently, following what's happening around the world. We know that in Davos, Switzerland, they have the World Economic Forum every year, and the world leaders and Charles Schwab, the new king of England, they all have announced a great reset. And you cannot ignore this, because these people are influencing all the presidents and kings of the world. They are influencing them. For some reason, all the kings of this world, Russia, China, especially China and the United States, and all the main leaders of this world, the G20, the G8, they all get their marching orders. They're marching orders from an elite group of people, the Illuminati, the secret society, and it doesn't matter what president that goes in. The only one that they wouldn't like to be in office is one that would not take the orders, one that they cannot control. But it doesn't matter whether it's a Republican or democratic president in the United States. They don't care which one it is. As long as they can control that person, it's fine. We have to be able to understand these things and look at history, look at what have happened in the past, and understand what's going on. What is happening today in our world? You hear the term being used commonly. No nation would operate as a sovereign nation anymore. You hear about the globalists. You've been hearing that. The media is pushing it. Every major world government is announcing and pushing it. The first one to publicly announce the New World Order was President Bush. He was a Republican. A Republican president, Bush Sr., he announced it's time for us to forge a new world order. That is the first time, we have the videos, the first time it was announced. His son who came president after him, who waged the war against Iraq and Afghanistan, he also was a globalist. Bill Clinton was a globalist. President Obama was a globalist. President Biden is a globalist. So it doesn't matter whether they are a Republican or a Democrat. When you look at the politics and look at what's happening in Congress, in the White House, there is a lot of connections. Even Mitt Romney, which is the head of the Republican, everybody know who Mitt Romney is. He is the Speaker of the House for the Republican, whatever, I forget the name. But he also is a globalist. A whole lot of them in Washington, they are globalists. The Federal Reserve in the United States of America is not run by the federal government. It is a private institution, the Federal Reserve. And they can dispense any amount of money to whoever they want, however they want, because they're printing money, just get the right paper, and they're printing money. We need to understand that the nation and all the sovereign countries of this world, they are being controlled. We have to understand that. And this is why these things are happening. And this is why people are doing things and getting away with things without being accountable for it, because it was planned. By now, everyone should know and should understand that this virus was not a coincidence. The vaccine is not a coincidence. Open your eyes, listen to the news. Even though they're not telling us the truth, but it's just so much that they cannot hide. It is so evident. Now people are coming out, and I've been researching, listening to a lot of doctors. When I tell you doctors, I'm talking about doctors who went to Yale, to Harvard. The doctors who wrote textbooks, who go around the world telling people. Before this pandemic, they were the most popular, they were the most prominent doctors. But because they didn't want to go with the establishment, they were silenced, and they were made, all of their credential was made to be like the garbage dump. People, we need to wake up. We need to understand what's going on. And this, all of what's happening is fulfilling Revelation chapter 13. We will read a little bit of Revelation chapter 13, and I'll walk you through. Excuse me, and I'll play a video. We'll play a video of financial, economic experts and people that is revealing the plan. This is no longer a secret thing. This is not conspiracy theory anymore, because what is actually the people, them like Charles Schwab and the King of England and the politicians today, Joe Biden. I have a video with Joe Biden himself is saying that they're going to microchip every human being. That's part of the plan. Recently, there have been a law passed in March 2022, this year in March, that Joe Biden signed an executive order, and a lot of people have no idea about this executive order. We need to know what's happening. So we're going to play a video about that, and we're going to explain what's happening. Is the great nation, America, that built freedom based on principles of the Bible and God, it have been taken over by some nefarious, greedy, dangerous devil worshippers. Whether you believe it or not, I'm going to say it like it is. The things they're doing is not normal. It is all for the worship of Satan. And you will see as we go. If you believe in God and you believe in the Bible, you know that the Bible cannot lie. And you know that God cannot lie. So let us take a look as I share this screen. We're going to go to Revelation chapter 13. Take a look at this. I want us to wake up. A lot of people have been censored. I myself have received strikes from YouTube. If you haven't received strikes and censorship, you ain't doing nothing. You ain't saying nothing yet. And they are easing it a little bit, but we got to be careful. There are even certain things you cannot say, because they will silence you. There's no longer freedom of speech. Why? You must ask yourself why we do not have freedom of speech anymore. This silencing the voice of these centers. There's no debates. There's no more. Is what they say, that's it. Believe what. If you don't believe what they say, don't ask no question. Don't make no statements. This is what that have been done in China, in North Korea, in dictatorship, right now in Iran. This is happening here in the United States right now. Censorship. Think, people. Our country is changing right before our very eyes. The lamb, this country is no longer a lamb anymore. It is acting like a dragon. Revelation 13 says, the dragon stood on the seashore of the sea, and I saw a beast coming out of the sea. The dragon, people, is the devil. All right? The devil is the dragon. You see, what have happened, the devil has taken over the institution of man, and man have voluntarily surrendered and make allegiance to the devil. I turn my Bible to Revelation 12:13, and I will explain to you why the devil is so angry. He was cast out from heaven. And look what have happened. Because there was war in heaven, verse 7 says, Revelation 12:7, then war broke out in heaven, Michael and his angels. Remember I told you earlier in the sermon that Michael is the one who defends Israel? Well, that same Michael was leading the angels in the army, fought against the dragon. The dragon is the devil. That's Lucifer himself. And the dragon and his angels fought back. But he was not strong enough, and they lost their place in heaven. That is why in the days of Job, the devil could have gone up by the sons of God and got at a conversation with him. But since Messiah died, Satan had no access to heaven anymore, because they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. The great dragon was hurled down, the ancient serpent called the devil. You see who the dragon is? The dragon is the serpent called the devil, Satan, who leads the whole world astray. Who is leading the whole world astray? You need to understand, this is not an assumption, this is a fact. They have taken over the music industry, the entertainment industry, have taken over the whole of television, promoting every abominable thing. They have taken over the media, social media, all the platforms. The devil has taken over and is trying to dominate the minds and the heart. They took God out of school, take the Bibles out of school, and the school, they are filled of violence and bloodshed. And replace in the schools, they put within the schools transgenders, drag queens. You know that even after school program in California, they have a satanic after school program. They have no problem in putting the devil in school, but they don't want God in schools. But we can put the devil, it's okay. These same politicians and leaders, they have some very secret things they're doing, and they go into these meetings and do secret things, and it's all dedicated to the devil. You need to understand this. These signs and these symbols that is posted, and some of these videos that these singers, they actually make, they're showing you literally that they are worshiping the devil. And they're literally saying that I have sold my soul to the devil. Before Michael Jackson, before Prince died, all of these people, Tupac, before they died, they said what these industries was. But by the time they said, they're already branded as though they are crazy, because the media make them look like something is wrong with them. So nobody's paying attention. Be careful with the hypnosis, with the deception. Brethren, people, don't play with the devil. A lot of people, they are deceived. They cannot see. Even in our institution of learning, they don't teach critical thinking. They don't. What they're doing right now, whatever they teach, protocol, follow. If you don't follow protocol, we cancel you. If you don't say what the professor, what everybody say, we cancel you. Even though you're right, say what the majority says. Say what we approve to be said. You only say, these are the talking points. If you don't say these things, you have no say. We're going to silence your voice. And we're going to make your voice very soft. Because we can do that. This is what is going on. War broke out in heaven, right? So we see the great dragon, the ancient serpent, the devil, Satan, who leads the whole world astray. He was hurled to the earth and his angels with him. So the devil is, where you think the devil is? Where you think the dragon is? He's right here on the earth and not by himself. He's here with a lot of angels. Then I heard a voice in heaven say, now have come salvation and the power and the kingdom of God and the authority of his Messiah. For the accusers of our brothers and sisters who accuses them before God day and night has been hurled down. They triumph over him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. So the devil had access to heaven before Christ died. But when Christ died, this is when this war took place. And he was cast out and have no place anymore. They triumph over him by the blood of the Lamb. You see how they overcome? You have no access. He had no access to heaven again. So he's very angry. 12 says, therefore rejoice, ye heaven, you that dwell in them. But what about us who's on the earth? What about us who's on the earth? He said, woe to the earth and the sea. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth, the King James Version said. Those who live on earth, woe, because we have a serious struggle. Why? Because the devil has gone down to you. He's come down here. And he's filled with fury. Because he knows that he has a short time. His time is short. His time to do what? To deceive. That's why he's so angry. And he's doing everything in this world to deceive everybody. And to turn us away from the only hope we have, that is God. And the dragon saw, we don't want to go into this, that's another topic, but this woman is Israel, and her seed is those that accept the Messiah. If you read the last verse in Revelation 12:17, the dragon was enraged at the woman and went to make war with that woman. That is with Israel, the woman that God got married to, that brought forth his son. Amen? The Messiah. We don't need to go into that. It's right there. Read the whole chapter. You will see that. But then he made war with the rest of her offspring. And this verse described the offspring. Those who do what? Those who keep God's commandments and hold fast their testimony about Yeshua. So you see the seed of that woman? They keep God's Torah, God's commandment, and they testify. They have the testimony of Yeshua. That's why the new covenant and the first covenant, the old covenant and the new covenant, the woman was the woman of the first, the old covenant, and the new covenant are the descendants of her seed, the descendants of that woman, which are product of these covenants. Interesting to see. And there are preachers out there which is not sent from God, who's telling you that you don't need to keep the commandments. But to the law and to the testimony, if they do not speak according to the Torah and to the testimony, there is no light in them. They are dark. They are in darkness. They're operating from the prince of darkness, which is the devil's deception. We got to be careful. So we're going back to 13 and we're going to watch the video after that. 13 said the dragon stood on the shore because that dragon is going to take over the kingdoms of this world. Watch. And I saw a beast coming out of the sea. It had 10 horns and 7 heads, 10 crowns on its 10 crowns on its horns, and on each head a blasphemous name. The beast I saw resembled a leopard, but had the feet of those of a bear and a mouth like a lion. So this beast is amalgamated. It has all of the parts of the beast that Daniel saw in chapter 7, Daniel chapter 7, the leopard, the bear, and the lion. This beast is represented, this beast here is Rome, the 4th world emperor, and the last world emperor. That's Rome. The dragon gave the beast his power and his throne and great authority. So you see, the Vatican, the power that's there, and those religious institutions, be very careful. Because who gave them the power? The dragon, the devil. So don't be surprised that they support gay. They start teaching new age things because you don't know the real, you don't know what's behind. You see, a lot of things are being perceived. They have a perception. They make people think, or they appear to be holy, but you do not know what's really happening. You got to be careful. The Bible talks about wolf in sheep clothing. Beware. They will look like a sheep, but it's a wolf. One of the heads of the beast. So who gave that beast its authority? The dragon, that's the devil, gave the beast his power, his throne, and his great authority. One of the heads of the beast seems to have a fatal wound, and the fatal wound had been healed. The whole world was filled with power, with wonder, and followed the beast. So who followed the beast? The whole world. The whole world. And that is why we have Christmas coming up, Halloween just passed, Easter coming up, the New Year is coming up. The time of the day, morning, 12 midnight, that's when morning began. The months of the year, all these things was instituted by the same beast. That's why the whole world follows her. Everything that Rome teach, everyone in the world follows, including the Muslims, the Hindu. It don't matter the religion, they all follow. Because the Bible says that that beast and the woman riding the beast, everyone, all the kings of the earth will commit fornication with her and will be drunken with the wine of her fornication. So it says the whole world will be filled with wonder and follow the beast. People worship the dragon. Listen, it says, verse 4 says, people worship the dragon. They worship the devil because he has given authority to the beast. So who gave the authority that the beast have? Who gave the beast that authority? The devil. And they worship the beast and they worship the dragon. Which all the things I mentioned earlier, Christmas, Halloween, Mother's Day, everyone in the world, across the world, from north to south, east to west, most of them observe these things. That's how they worship the beast. And they also, not only the beast they worship in, when they keep Christmas, you think it's the beast alone you worshiping? You also worshiping the dragon, because the dragon is who instituted these things. They tell you that it is the birth of Christ, but it's a lie. It's the birth of Christ, but you have a fat man with a white beard and calling him Santa Claus, and you're lying to your child and telling your child that he bring gifts to you. And you think it's okay. That's of God. unscramble the word Santa Claus, Satan Claus. All of this is devil worship, beast worship. It's paganism. On Easter, the churches, Easter sunrise service, we have an Easter bunny, an egg hunt, going on an Easter hunt. The same churches, they have a bunny, they have an egg, and they're going on Easter hunt. What is Easter? The goddess of fertility, Ishtar. That's from the Lord. The Bible talks about Pesach, the Passover, not Ishtar. All these things was instituted by the same beast and the dragon that gave her its authority. It's false worship in the name of God. It's a deception, people. And they worship the beast and ask who is like the beast, who can wage war against it. And this is the current situation that the world is in today. The beast was given a mouth and power of words and blasphemous to exercise its authority for 42 months. It opened its mouth and blasphemed God and slander his name and his dwelling place and those who live in heaven. One of the terms that they use, say, call them father. Yeshua said, don't call no man your spiritual father. For there's one that's your father, that's God in heaven. But you have them going around saying, people, father so-and-so, father so-and-so. You don't understand what the Messiah said? Don't call nobody a spiritual father. You have one spiritual father, that's our Father who art in heaven. If your father, your biological father is your father, yes. We're talking about biological, but we're talking about spiritual father, only one you got. That is the creator of heaven and earth. 9 says, whoever have ear, let him hear. If anyone go into captivity they will go. If anyone is to be killed with the sword they will be killed. This call for patience, endurance, and faithfulness of the part of God's people. Verse 11 says, then I saw a second beast. Who is this second beast? This is a second beast. Different. This beast came out of the earth. The other beast, it came out of the sea. Different. What is different? Because the sea in prophecy is people, nation, and tongues, which is a civilized community, which is a multitude of people. But the second beast, it didn't come out of the sea. All the beasts before, all the world emperors before came out of the sea. You would see that. Babylon came out of the sea. Medes and Persian, Greece, Rome. But this beast did not come out of the sea. It came out from the earth. Different. What is it saying? The earth means uncivilized, almost uninhabited place. And the earth, the beasts are sent out of the earth. It's signifying this beast represents America. When they came over across from Europe and they came over here, they met the Indians. It was basically uncivilized. Not too many development. They believe in living off of nature. So that's why it said this government or this beast, it came out from the earth. This is America. It had two horns like a lamb. The two parties and ruling parties in America is the Republican and Democratic Party. That's the two horns. It appeared as a lamb. In prophecy, a lamb always represents a righteous nation, a godly nation. The other country that is appear as a lamb in the parables of Enoch, a lamb, a ram, or a sheep, that is Israel. So this is hinting that it was a godly nation. This is America. America started as a godly nation. But what happened? It spoke like a dragon. Eventually, it speaks like a dragon. And that's where we are today. It exercised all the authority of the first beast on its behalf. It will work for the first beast. And it made the earth and its inhabitants worship the first beast. So everything America is going to do is going to do it for the first beast. It's going to do it for Rome. It's going to do it for the Vatican. It's going to do it for the Pope. It's going to do it for the institutions that they have created. It's a pyramid of institutions. Illuminati, Masons, Bilderberg, and even in our country, the CFR, Center of Foreign Relations, and we have a whole, the United Nations. Y'all, we need to understand, even Henry Kissinger, he was advising presidents from since Bush all the way up through Obama. They have agendas. You know what they have done? They have taken all of the manufacturing jobs and sent them to China for America to depend on China because they want to make it global. Globalism. We don't want to have our own sovereignty. We want to depend on every country depend on each other. Make it interdependent. Why? All because they want to control everybody. That's how they can control everybody. We need to understand why things are happening and how. This is why they get control of the money. The centralization and creating the fiat dollar, printing money arbitrarily, not having it backed by gold. All of that was part of the plan. All these things happen for this to be fulfilled. Revelation. Imagine what will happen. It says that it performs great signs and causes fire to come down from heaven and the earth in full view of the people. Because of the signs it was given power to perform on the behalf of the beast, it deceived the inhabitants of the earth in order to set an image in honor of the beast. All this modern technology that we are developing, that's being developed, is the image that is being set up for the beast. The second beast was given power to give breath to the image, to the first beast, so that the image could speak and cause who refuse to worship the image to be killed. And brothers and sisters, that is what the New World Order is about and the Great Reset. The plan is to give everybody a number. Look at here. It is also to force all people, great and small, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hand or on their forehead, so that they could not buy or sell unless they had the mark, which is the name of the beast and the number of his name. Now, I could show you how all these things connect. We don't have time for that. But in this short video, but I will put some things up because we can always go more and deeper into it, and I have to be careful what I say, how I say it, because I can also be canceled of this platform if I say certain things. But let me show you a video. I will show you, before I show you this, I'll show you a video of Joe Biden himself, the president of the United States, what he said. I want you to take a look at this video. This thing has been planned a long time ago. I hope we understand what's going on. This is not, they're not hiding these things anymore. They're not hiding any of these things. It's in plain sight right now. Let me see.
decisions in the 21st century. Can a microscopic tag be implanted in a person's body to track his every movement? There's actual discussion about that. You will rule on that, mark my words, before your tenure is over. Can brain scans be used to determine whether a person is in...
Let me go back again. Here, this is Joe Biden a few years back when he was a bit younger. Listen to what he said again. Senator Joseph Biden.
The journey did not stop then, and it must not stop now, Judge. And we'll be faced with equally consequential decisions in the 21st century. Can a microscopic tag be implanted in a person's body to track his every movement? There's actual discussion about that. You will rule on that, mark my words, before your tenure is over.
How he know that he will rule on that before his tenure is over? How did Joe Biden know that? That's the question you gotta ask yourself. Who told Joe Biden that John Roberts, Chief Justice, would have to, when this is his confirmation hearing, a Chief Justice they were gonna put in? Joe Biden is telling this Chief Justice, the time will come when you will have to rule whether to put a microscopic microchip into human beings. Why? I have videos of Rockefellers speaking to a friend saying that their plan and their goal is to microchip every human being and put a microchip inside of them. Doesn't that sound like a mark of identity to go inside of a person? And what's the reason why they want to put a microchip inside of everybody? Because the microchip can store information, they can track you, and they can also, it stores your money, your bank account, and they can control everything about you. Without it, you cannot buy and sell. This is the plan. They're planning this right now as we speak. They even give a deadline by 2030. Are you hearing me, people? This is on their own platform. They're saying it in their videos and on their platform. So this is Joe Biden. I have videos of where President Bush Sr., so I'm telling you, it doesn't matter whether you're Republican or Democrat. As long as you're part of the establishment, they will allow you to win the election. A lot of people don't understand one of the reasons why they hated President Trump so much, because he was not on their payroll and they couldn't control him. But we leave that there because a lot of people just don't like this man. But I know what's going on. I'm going to show you a video of a person that predicted the 2008 collapse, economic collapse. And he have inside information, and this is a video I'm going to post right now. I'm going to let you see. I hope you heard what this one is saying. I have a lot of videos here that we can do. This video tells you about how our money, how the money is, how we reach to the point of this paper dollar. Who controls the money? This is a very important video. Who controls the money? But we don't have time to watch it. But it shows you where our money went from being backed by gold to be backed by nothing. And the Federal Reserve, that's exactly what they wanted, because now they can control every country's economy, because the US dollar is the dollar that all dollars is based on. So if the US dollar collapses, every dollar will collapse. It only takes one. If the US dollar collapses, every dollar in the world, they have to create an entire new system. So if you understand that, and this video will show you that. We can't watch the video because I really want to play this video for you. This one is really important. This man here, very important. Let us take a look at it and let us see.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining me for today's talk. There's an urgent situation unfolding in America, and today I'll unveil all the unnerving details. So let's get started with a critical question. Where were you on March 9th, 2022, when President Biden signed the death warrant on American freedom? On that day, in a hush ceremony at the White House, without the approval of Congress, the states, or the American people, Biden signed into law Executive Order 14067.
This is so important. He called it the death warrant on Americans' freedom. It was an executive order that Joe Biden signed without the approval of Congress. Now, a lot of these people in Congress, it's sad, man, what's going on. If you do not cooperate with the lobbyists and with those folks, the deep state, they will destroy you. This country is in a lot of, this is all satanic, I'm telling you. We need to understand. But all of this is being done to fulfill the prophecy. This is what that is remarkable. They have no idea that they are doing exactly what God is saying. But you need to be able to discern what's going on. Executive Order 14067. Google it. You will see. I Google it. I watched the executive order. Exactly what this man is saying is what Joe Biden and what they write for him. Because I know Joe Biden didn't write it. This is the plan that they have. And you know what it's about? He will explain. I hope you can hear him.
Buried in his order are a few paragraphs titled Section 4. The language in Section 4 makes Order 14067 the most treacherous act by a sitting president in the history of our republic. Because Section 4 sets the stage for legal government surveillance of all U.S. citizens, total control over your bank accounts and purchases, and the ability to silence all dissenting voices for good. In this new war on freedom, the Dems aren't coming for your guns. No, they're thinking much bigger than that. They're coming for your money.
That's why they tested it during COVID, to silence all dissenters. Anyone that goes against what they say is a dissenter. Anyone that speaks different to what they say or question what they're doing is a dissenter. They took hold of YouTube. Federal, look right now. Elon Musk, God is amazing how he works. God used a billionaire to expose them. Elon Musk just bought Twitter. And he released some files where the FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, went into Twitter and sat down with them and tell them who to cancel, which conservative to cancel, what to allow. Censorship. And who was directing them? The FBI. Guys, are you... What, do you understand what's happening, man? And they're releasing more files. We cannot say we didn't know, you know. You see, God used Cyrus to finance the building of the second temple. And God named him even before he was born. Cyrus, the king of Persia. God used Pharaoh, hardened his heart to show his power. God used Nebuchadnezzar to bring judgment upon his own people, Israel. You see, God could use anyone to his dispense to reveal what he wants. You don't have to be perfect. That's just to show you that who's really in control. None of these people, they're in control. But they are doing exactly what God already predicted. And God have a solution for all the chaos. This is so important to understand. That's what comforts me. And gives me the assurance because God already told me this. I'm not afraid. God already have plagues reserved for them. But whom? Only who believe and understand and act upon that belief will be delivered. He said, many will be delivered. Everyone whose names is written in the book of life. The people who believed Noah in the days of Noah, they got delivered, right? This is always the people who believe what Yeshua said about the destruction of Jerusalem, the besieging of the temple, the destruction of the temple, they got delivered, right? They didn't eat their own child. They run to Pella, to the mountains, in the rocks, and they hide when Rome came. And even the last fortress to stand up against Rome is called Masada. Up to today, you go to Israel, you can get a cable car, you go up to Masada, you will see how Rome, how they conquered the final frontier in Masada. A stronghold, a serious stronghold. And that's where they bring the soldiers when they're about to enroll them in the army. And said, you're here to defend this country, to defend Israel in Masada. Brothers and sisters, the Bible is being fulfilled before our very eye. Do you understand what you are seeing? They're getting ready to collapse. Soon your dollar would have no value. They're planning the collapse of the money. You're going to see it. You better use that money quick to do what you got to do, because soon it's going to have no value. And then they will bring in the New World Order. You must understand what's going on. So this executive order, Joe Biden recently did it in 2022, March. Executive order. They're coming for your money. And this guy knows exactly what he's talking about because he have inside information.
It's already started. Hi, my name is Jim Rickards. I'm a former advisor to the Pentagon, the White House, Congress, the CIA, and the Department of Defense. I'm also an attorney, investment banker, and author of 7 books on currencies and international economics. When places like Fox, CNBC, or Bloomberg want to know what's about to shake up the global economy, they call me.
So this guy is not just a nobody. You heard his credentials. So this guy knows what he's talking about. Listen carefully.
Most of all, like you, I'm a proud American patriot. The disturbing predictions you're about to see are based on my independent research and my contacts in the intelligence community. I've never made this kind of public announcement before, but it's my duty to pull the alarm. This is what I believe Section 4 of Biden's order means for all Americans. The U.S. dollar will be made obsolete. Soon your cash will be confiscated or will simply be worthless paper. The cash currency we have now will be replaced with a new programmable digital token. But the truth is, few outside the deep state recognize Biden's move for what it really is. If my predictions are correct, this is so much more sinister than simply replacing the cash dollar with a new digitized version. Friend, this new currency will allow for total control of all American citizens, because every digital dollar will be programmed by the government. That means they will be able to turn on or turn off your money at will. Not only that, but they'll be able to track and record every purchase you make. This is very different than online banking and has nothing to do with crypto. I'll explain everything in a moment. But what you need to know now is AOC has already publicly declared her support for a government-controlled spyware currency. The digital dollar means Dems will be able to punish any contribution, purchase, or even social media comment that they don't like. And this isn't something years away. It's starting now. Biden's secret army has been hard at work, and U.S. trials are already well underway. In fact, our government is racing to catch up. China and Russia have already launched pilot programs for their own digital currencies. More than half the countries in the world and almost 90% of central banks are testing or exploring a digital currency right now. In my opinion, it's not a question of will the U.S. implement a digital dollar. It's just a question of when. And the answer to that is it's already happening. Under Project Lithium and Project Hamilton, the new spyware currency has been quietly tested for several years. There's no stopping it. I predict we'll see a digital dollar in circulation next year or 2024 at the latest.
So you hear that, people? This thing is in process already. China, Russia, and a lot of major countries already testing the digital currency. But the cryptocurrency is decentralized right now. But it will be centralized when the government take over. And a digital currency is basically what Joe Biden said in the video. You will have to vote on placing a microchip inside of people before your tenure is over. Why he knew that? Because he had inside information. He was at the meetings and he was informed. This is coming down the pipeline. And what is this? It's exactly what Revelation 13 is talking about. Everyone in the whole world will have to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead for buying and selling. What you gonna do? Will you receive the mark? Do you know that everything that scans into a computer, it has the 666 digital code in it? 6 opens the transaction. The other 6 place the itemized number, your personal identification number in there, and the other 6 closes it. This is exactly how the computer reads it. It reads it as 666. It's the number of a man. This is exactly what John saw. And this man is revealing, and a lot of other videos. I had so many videos over time. But this is really happening now. The deadline is by 2030. You're going to remember this conversation we're having today. Watch.
But I do have some good news for you. It's almost too late, but you can still protect your assets and your freedom if you know exactly what to do. In the next 84 seconds, I'm going to outline everything for you. You'll see the ugly proof of their plan. You'll see what this could mean for you and your life savings. I'm also going to show you the only way I trust to protect your money and your freedom from Biden's new surveillance machine. I call it asset emancipation, and it's easy to do and understand. If you choose to take advantage of it, asset emancipation is a way to legally secure and even grow your wealth while hiding it safely away from Democrat surveillance and control. It's a loophole designed to outsmart a new spyware currency while potentially increasing your personal wealth. But you must know exactly how to do it, and that's what I'm going to show you today. I must warn you, some of this will be difficult to watch, but if you care about your money and your freedom, please do not turn away. Thanks to what you'll witness here, you're about to be much more prepared for the coming storm than your neighbors, and that's a very powerful position to be in. Imagine if you were German in 1923 and able to somehow avoid the 29,500% hyperinflation that made their money worthless. Or if you could have opted out of Roosevelt's confiscation of all private gold in 1933. That's the power of asset emancipation, and I'll show you everything right now. Thanks to Section 4 of Biden's Order 14072, ordering urgent research into developing the digital dollar, I believe the U.S. dollar, the standard of the world since 1792, will be replaced by a new currency, the digital dollar. These new electronic currencies are called CBDCs, or central bank digital currencies. I call the digital dollar Biden bucks because I want him to take full credit for what I consider to be crimes. This is not like the money in your online bank account. No, this is new and different. Every digital dollar will be a programmable token like Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies, but there's a big difference. Cryptocurrencies are decentralized digital currencies. Instead, if it plays out the way I see it, Biden bucks will have the full backing of the U.S. Federal Reserve. They will replace the cash, fiat dollar we have now, and will soon be the sole mandatory currency of the United States. When Biden bucks are rolled out, many experts, myself included, believe they will begin an era of total government control and surveillance. This is not hyperbole. This would dramatically expand the power and influence of the federal government, essentially acting as a new type of spyware. With Biden bucks, the government will be able to force you to comply with its agenda, because if you don't, they could turn off your money. This won't be like freezing a bank account. It will be so much easier, because Biden bucks will be digital tokens programmed at the source. They could be turned on or off at will with just a keystroke, and they could be reprogrammed at any time. With Biden's secret surveillance army running the show, the anti-freedom implications are almost limitless. For example, Biden bucks could be programmed to allow only certain kinds of purchases. Imagine what this new world could look like. You want to keep an internal combustion engine car? Your digital dollar suddenly won't pay for gas. Instead, you can be forced to buy an electric vehicle. That's just the tip of the fascist iceberg. They can force you to get vaccinated. They can force you into solar. They can force you to use less water or heat. They can force you to eat fake plant-based meat. They can control where you are allowed to travel. They can stop you purchasing certain items like guns, ammo, or survival supplies, they can control to which candidates you're allowed to donate. And they'll know every single place you spend your money, forever. America would become a surveillance state like China or North Korea. Every single aspect of your life could be controlled because they'll control your money. In fact, I fully expect them to implement a social credit rating system like in China. Say the wrong thing on social media, buy the wrong thing, subscribe to the wrong news channel, give money to the wrong candidate, and your rating drops. Suddenly your Biden bucks are frozen or disappearing from your account. This is already happening in China. There, a low social score gets you officially labeled untrustworthy. They can take away your ability to travel, restrict your internet access, deny your family the best schools or jobs. They may even take away your pets. I'm not kidding. All this is going on today. But that's China, an oppressive communist country. Could this really happen in a democracy? Just ask the truckers in Canada, because that's exactly what happened to them. Their Prime Minister Trudeau was granted special emergency powers during the peaceful trucker protest over his forced vaccination law. He then ordered all banks to freeze the accounts of the protesters and anyone who aided them in any way. And it wasn't just a threat. That fascist froze the bank accounts of non-violent protesters. He locked up over $6 million in private accounts for protesting a forced vaccination law the truckers believe violated their sovereign human rights. Think about that. They protested his policies, so he took away their money. Think our current government would love to do that? Me too. Under Biden bucks, we'll lose many of our God-given American rights. They'll be replaced by total government surveillance and control. For almost all Americans, this will be the death of freedom, forever. Almost all Americans, not you. You won't.
So I guess we kind of get the picture of what the possibilities are with digitizing your money. Making a digital dollar, and the plan is to play, because they already did research, DARPA, all of that. The plan is to put it in a microchip, and they will be able to shut it off. You won't be able to buy and sell if you don't receive. It's all about control. Freedom is going out the door, brethren. People, freedom of speech is going. Freedom as we know it is under attack. Because as long as you have for them to create a new world order and a one world currency, one world order, you can't be free for them to do that. So this is what's going on. That's what the Great Reset is about. In the Great Reset, they say you will have nothing and be happy, which means they will take everything away from you. So like I said, we have more information here. This guy is talking about investing in gold and trying to secure, because gold is something that will always have value. But in this, what they're planning to do, the gold, they wouldn't care about gold. They want to control you. You can't, let me tell you something, you cannot eat gold. You cannot drink gold. And if the gold wouldn't do nothing for you at that point in time, what you need is food, water, and food. That's what you need. Land. You need food and water. You cannot eat paper money. You cannot eat gold and diamonds. You could have all the gold and starve to death. Just like in the people, because if they're not receiving it, they don't care about it. Because why? Everything is just a number to buy and sell. All you need is a number. They're talking about universal basic income. Canada, listen, this is all being experimented right now. So people, this is what the leaders of the world have planned for us. It sounds very dark and sad. But exactly what this man has just said is exactly what we just read in Revelation 13. We are literally seeing the Bible being fulfilled. Revelation 13. And because the US-backed currency is the world reserve currency, the US dollar, and because this country is the police country of the world, and this country is the one that is protecting freedom and liberty around the world, that is why this country, the Lamb, which is now speaking like a dragon is the one that will enforce, and that they have to take over to implement these things. And that's why this America is the second beast in Revelation 13. And that's why all eyes is on America as far as the secret society is concerned, the deep state. Because what they are now going to use this country to do this. They will force all people, great and small, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hand or on their foreheads, so that they could not buy or sell unless they had the mark. You could have all the gold you want. If you don't have this mark, you wouldn't be able to buy and sell. They're not accepting gold. You have to have the mark. And that is a technology, a digital currency they want to put inside of you. And that is the plan. So I just hope that we understand how we're going to escape this. Don't receive their mark. Buy land. Start planting food. Start digging wells. Get food and water. Raise some chickens, goats. At least the Father can provide you the food. He can bless the work of your hands. So you wouldn't need their mark to buy, to eat and drink. Because all you really need is food and clothing. And if you have your land, you have your place to stay. Stop being dependent, but be independent. Do like Joseph. Start putting up for the famine that is coming. Because I know this is a fact, it's coming. And they intend to do it. The word of God must fulfill. And you just do what the Lord called you to do. Preach the good news. Love one another. Develop communities. And you'll be a means of help and refuge for a whole lot of people who gonna run away from this craziness that these people are trying to do. And it's not going to be in one place. It's a globally. They're going to do it. In the islands, they're going to do it. It's going to be a global agenda. That's why they're talking about globalization. This is their plan. It's all to control you. Control your money. Tell you what to do. Control. It's all about control. And it's all dedicated to one entity, to Satan, the dragon. So we would not bow. Like the 3 Hebrew boys didn't bow to the image in Babylon. We would not bow to the gods of men. We will worship the Lord. We will worship the Lord. Amen. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. And like I say, there's a lot of videos, there's a lot of research we could go into from the government themselves and what they intend to do, but that's enough. Think about it. God bless you. And right now, for those who wants to go into our Hebrew lesson, in the link of this video, if you go into the link, you will see a Zoom link. You can join me on the Zoom and we could study Hebrew, practice our Hebrew reading, how to read Hebrew class. Thank you so much for joining in today. Blessings upon you. Shabbat Shalom.